So I wanted to make this video to cover three topics. One, just to mention some things about this virus, and two, I wanted to not really apologize, because I mean, the situation is not in my control. I really haven't done any videos for home training. I intend to, but I haven't done any as of now, and I'll explain in a bit. But first, I know for many of us, working out and training is probably not a priority right now. Many of us right now, and I'm included in that situation, is wondering where your next check is going to be coming from. I don't know what your situation is, but with all the gyms closed, parks and recreational facilities are closed, and some of my clients are having their own financial problems. I'm not getting any money from training. I don't have an online training situation, and I'm not Insta famous or YouTube famous, so I don't have an income coming in from YouTube. In fact, I've never gotten a single penny from doing any of my Instagram videos or YouTube videos, so all the effort I make in doing this stuff is really just to help other people. It doesn't do anything for me. But my studio, if you allow me a moment to vent, I live on Miami Beach. Wanted to live here some time ago, but now that I'm here, I realize that it sucks. Unless you're fairly well off and you can afford at least a studio for around $1,500, which is what they go for on average here, $1,500 to $2,000 for a studio, you're probably going to live somewhere kind of crappy. And my studio is small, terrible lighting. It leaks when it rains. My conversation I'm having with you right now, my neighbors could hear it as if I was in their room or in their studio, and I can hear them when they talk. I always listen to TV or music with headphones on because there's no sound insulation. And there's also no insulation period, because if my neighbor smokes weed or smokes cigarettes, I'll smell it in my studio. And on the other side, if they cook or let's say take a dump, I'll smell that in my studio as well. So it's not very pleasant. And based on my own experience, reality is everywhere I've lived in Miami, renting, it's been a similar situation. It just sucks. So I don't have a fancy place by which to show you some cool exercises, some home exercises you can do. In fact, ironically, a very famous Instagrammer and YouTuber fitness influencer, recently posted a video of some home workouts that he can do, that we can do, or anyone can do in the kitchen. And I'm watching him do dips on his kitchen countertop, and I'm here thinking, this guy's kitchen is literally about as big as my studio. And his countertops were clearly these, very expensive granite kitchen countertops. And I know if I try to do dips on my countertops, I'm probably going to break something, and that means I'm going to have to pay for it. So I wanted to basically talk to those who are in situations like mine, where you're not sure where your next check's going to come in, your income's questionable right now, you're stuck in a small living space, but you worked hard for your gains and you don't want to lose it. It might not be a priority for you, but still. So I'm going to add to this video pictures of a few pieces of equipment you can invest in that shouldn't cost you more than $100, maybe at best a little bit over 100, right? So the biggest thing, I would say the biggest bang for your buck equipment that I would invest in is a knockoff TRX. What do I mean by that? If you ever use a TRX, just Google it. You should know what a TRX is. Invented, I believe, by a former Navy SEAL guy. They're very expensive though. They can go, I remember the last time I checked, which like maybe 3 years ago, they can go for as much as $300. Maybe they're as cheap as $100 now, but there are knockoffs now that are fairly good that you can get from 30 to $50. I would say that's a number one thing. You can do almost a complete upper body workout if you're creative, and I'll show you when I get mine. I had to order a new one. The gym where I train, there's already a TRX, so there's no need for me to have one of my own, but I invested in a knockoff recently. It should be arriving soon, I hope. And I'm gonna do some videos and post them on my Instagram, so you guys who invest in this TRX knockoff can do your own workouts. And again, you can do almost a full upper and even a lower workout with the right exercises, and I'll show you how. The second thing I would invest in, if you have the funds, is I think it's called an Iron Gym, but I think they changed the name. It's basically a device that you can hook onto your doorway. Now they sell ones that you can screw onto your doorway, but if you're renting, you probably don't want to do that because you might get in trouble. The one I'm recommending, you basically sort of hook it into the doorway, and it sort of hangs onto the doorway, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I'm about a $185, and I have the device, so I can take a picture of it and post it with this video, I suppose, or something similar, but I can't use it in my studio because you need a doorway that has at least 6 inches open on both sides of the doorway. And if you know what a studio is, it's basically just an open space. There's a door going in, and maybe a door for your bathroom and a door for a closet if you have that. And the way my studio is set up, all of the doors are right against a wall, and there's no way I can use this device. So the TRX knockoff that I told you about before, you can hook that onto the door itself and just use it alone. Or if you get this Iron Gym pull-up bar thing I'm telling you about, you can hook it onto that. Now, if you have the budget for the third item, the last item I would recommend is a nice thick a nice thick mat. A mat that you can use for working out. I don't see the point in you getting on your knees on hard floors. Some of us are older, and that's a bit uncomfortable, so why even bother doing that? So a nice thick mat that can help with some of the abdominal workouts and other workouts. I have item 2 and 3. Like I said, item 1, I need to wait for it to arrive in the mail. The TRX knockoff should cost around 30 to 50 bucks. The pull-up bar I was telling you about for the doorway should cost about 20 to 25 bucks. And the last thing I'd recommend is, like I said, a nice thick yoga mat to protect your knees, protect your lower back when you're doing abdominal exercises and other exercises, core exercises. And I think that's about 15 bucks. So yeah, when I get the oh yeah, by the way, maybe 2 weeks after I moved into my home, my crappy apartment, they started building a hotel that lasted over a year, and from sun up to sundown it was constant construction noise. I could never get a good night's rest. Before the sun comes up, there's a pounding and smashing of equipment, and after the sun goes down, it still went on a little bit longer. And I was so grateful when they finally finished building this building. And of course, they started with another one. So in the 2 years I've been living here, I've never had any peace and quiet. So one other thing I want to talk about, I want to bring up some updates on this virus. First, they talked about how masks won't protect you, the mask won't help you. Then they're saying the mask will help, the mask can protect you. Now, I recently heard, I think it was Dr. Sunja on CNN saying that the mask could actually make things worse for you. So that doesn't make sense to me. But then I hear that, you know, the virus is spread through contact of surfaces. Then it's, oh, the virus is actually airborne, but it's not technically airborne. So what's my point? My point is, do your own research. Know where you get your information from. Social media, remember, Instagram is the place where people are trying to convince you that the earth is flat. It's infested with stupidity, and stupid people spreading more stupidity. For example, I posted freaking Miami. I posted a article warning what foods you might be eating because the virus could propagate on certain types of food like deli meat. That same day, later on that day, I saw another article. I'm posting this trying to help out my followers. I'm trying to keep them informed with whatever updates I can get. Then I see another update, not an update, but I saw another article because I wanted to Google this or look up more information. Another article says that you can't get the virus from eating it. Some doctor with the USDA said that, let's say someone who's infected with the virus sneezes on a salad, and you buy that salad and you eat that salad, that they have no evidence to show that you can get infected from eating that salad. I don't know. This virus has existed for like 4 months now, 5 months. So it's hard to know what's what. And I guess the experts, as they call themselves, are learning the information as they go. So, you know, we just gonna have to go with what we can go with the information. Me personally, cook your own food. That's what I typically do anyways, because I don't trust humans. I think most of them are kind of filthy. If that's not an option, you don't know how to cook, and you have to rely on takeout, make sure you get food that's cooked, that's gonna be heated, and maybe order from someplace that packages the food in a way that you know that it won't be exposed to particles of mucus or something, that if the driver sneezes or coughs, it won't get on your food. I don't know. That's the best advice I can give. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. I know this is difficult times, and you probably heard this phrase many times, and I've heard it myself. It's gonna get far worse before it gets better, and it's a scary thought. I just hope we all can get through this.